The Western versus the Eastern medicine healing modalities showdown. No, I'm just kidding. But I did think it would be really interesting just to share my experience. On one hand, growing up as a skeptic, and on the other hand, now being a channeler. What's my experience with both, or experiences with both, and what is my perspective now? And also, maybe there's some tidbits and information that can help. So, first of all, not only do I have a lot of respect for Western practitioners, doctors, nurses, things of that nature, I wouldn't be alive if they didn't exist without modern medicine. At least at the time, I had no other information surrounding me. I grew up with childhood asthma and I could not breathe, and it was traumatizing. It was terrifying. I don't know what my alt route would have been or looked like if I wasn't treated, but at the time, would not have been good. Thankfully, for the most part, I haven't needed a lot of interjection. You know, there's definitely some supplements and things that I take now, but for the most part, haven't had a humongous need, knock on wood. I know that this is a really challenging conversation because people who are really struggling are like, come on, seriously, like, obviously, you know, I need this certain thing, whether that's a medicine, a treatment program, a modality, a physical thing, whatever it may be. And honestly, I respect that. Time I have certainly had my frustrations. There have certainly been times when I have gone to doctors or practitioners and it was not good. I'm also laughing because there was this one time when I was in New York. I went to a dermatologist because I had horrible eczema. I remember it like to this day. It was right in my elbow, my left elbow, and it was so bad, nothing was helping. So I went to this dermatologist and I was like, you know, the weird thing is that when I go to California, because I would have to go like maybe like a couple times a year, it stops. And she was like, that's impossible. That is impossible. And I was like, well, it's happening, it's real, it's definitely possible. This is like incredibly unhelpful. And just like that interaction in and of itself made me shut down, did not want to go back. I was like, I'm just gonna deal with this on my own. Fast forward, I moved to California. Guess who doesn't have eczema? Me. Point being, I know firsthand, and also just listening to social media, how many people have really bad frustrations with different doctors and practitioners. Does not mean that you should not still go to them. But I get it. People may think that it's strange that I support Western medicine, but from a channeler perspective, as much as I would love for people to have more Eastern medicine modalities or even just like spiritual integration, none of that is really going to be particularly helpful if you are not at a like sustainable place where you can accept like new energies in. Sometimes it's at a level where you just need to be helped, and whatever that may be, that's what it's going to be, and it's going to be good. Obviously, yes, if there are things that people do not need, pharmaceuticals and medication for, it would be amazing if in the meantime, if it's helpful to bring somebody to an energetic place where, again, they're able to receive, it just makes the job of a spiritual practitioner that much easier. But yeah, I guess like as a channeler, I am for a lot of things people aren't, like in particular vaccines, for example. As I've evolved and grown as a channeler, it's occurred to me that natural things are all byproducts of human existence. So like I was talking about before, like natural and unnatural, it's like kind of a fallacy. I completely understand wanting to put things into your body which you know of, you are aware of, and I think there's probably other ways that you can have more control over that, but I mean, obviously, I'm not going to tell anybody what to do. It's also a good segue into the next thing that I want to talk about, which is using your intuition. So, when it came to these practitioners that I was not a fan of, I was not jiving with, probably what I should have known at those current points and places in time was that I should have been using more intuitive judgment and discernment overall. For me personally, since I'm primarily clairvoyant, that looks like me kind of like looking at a picture of somebody, being in the presence of somebody, because I can kind of like pick up on vibes. And considering that most things can kind of wait in terms of your, in terms of you proceeding with them, I do feel like having discernment with who you want to treat you is a good thing. Again, as long as timing allows that. As time went on, I became a lot better with choosing the right people for me. Like I wasn't too in my head about reviews. I wasn't too in my head about location. Like I just kind of went where I felt was right. and it has made such a huge difference for me overall. In terms of Eastern medicine modalities, something that I've done is acupuncture. I loved acupuncture. I don't think it got me exactly where I needed to be, but my biggest like compliment or feedback that I gave to my practitioner was that I felt like all of the parts of my body were talking to each other. So if you have issues, well, I mean, look, acupuncture treats a host of things, but like just speaking from experience, if you have issues where you feel like, all of the different parts of your body are like not kind of in unison, like you don't feel very like whole, everything feels like a fractal part, acupuncture, I am sure, can, help you with that so long as it works out for you. Also laughing because I would always come from acupuncture looking like Lord knows what. Even though I am a Reiki practitioner myself, I thoroughly enjoy having Reiki done on me, even though I do it myself as well. I mean, if you have a great Reiki practitioner, that is so invaluable in my opinion. Does so many things, sets the energetic tone, releases, or at least assists and support release of old negative stagnant energy. Also, if you have a good practitioner, they can kind of understand areas of the body that may be susceptible to kind of accumulating energy and hypothetically susceptible to having physical issues or ailments. I mean, you can get really wild with Reiki when it comes to like psychic surgery and stuff like that, and actually like healing on an energetic level. Like, I mean, I genuinely feel like anything is possible. I have struggled with back pain for so long, literally since I was like 18 years old, and it's just kind of like ebbed and flowed, and I've had any and every single treatment you can possibly think of. It definitely occurred to me, like, kind of as my intuition was opening up, that there was a strong correlation with the energy that I was just kind of like amassing in my body and not letting go, and the pain and the discomfort that I was feeling. I'm still in a purge process. I mean, I literally release energy every single day. I have cried every single day, probably for over like 2 years now. Granted that it has been for different reasons, but point being, like, things get trapped in my body so quickly as a channeler, and who knows, maybe this is gonna continue on. I really have no idea, but if I'm being honest, the combination of the physical work, whether that is like massage, whether that was the acupuncture, whether that is exercising and working out, in combination with the energetic work, I feel so much better overall, and I've been able to release so much. There's just so many ways that you can do this. I feel like it's going to take too much time to talk about it, but the biggest thing that you can do to help yourself from an energetic point of view is just sitting there or laying there and simply allowing like thoughts, feelings, and emotions to come to you so that you're able to let it go and release it. You can put like a hand in certain areas, like if you're feeling like there's tension or pain there, and you can just like, just the thought of kind of sending love there and the visualization of it, in my opinion, does a lot of work. Any way that you are intentionally releasing energy from your body, whether you are doing visualization exercises, you are saying it out loud or in your own mind. Again, there's also physical ways to do this, stretching, exercising, etc. Truly you are making a difference. I also just want to say that even if you're not noticing a difference overnight, it takes time for your body physically and your environment to kind of catch up to your energetic body or aura, however you want to put it. It's also just like a good segue to what I have discovered with being on this journey for like so long. There was no smoking gun ever, and like for other people there may be, for whatever they are dealing with, and that's great, trust me. I very much wish that happened to me, but I do feel like to resolve, and not even just physical issues, but mental and emotional ones, that subconscious alignment, that intuition, that commitment and promise to yourself, that openness to receiving help from the universe, it's so, so valuable. And that transcends like any problems or issues that you have, and has really been what kind of saved me throughout this process, or at least like, was the guiding light and the general impact on me, the positive impact on my healing journey overall. I got my Reiki certification so long ago, and I'm so excited that I now have a space and I am able to offer it to people and folks. And I'm also going to look into other opportunities, which are perhaps kind of like at a lower price point and through the community and things like that. But yeah, it's very cool. I feel like it's such an impactful experience and force. And I do it kind of like my own way. I do more intuition oriented and just more personalized for the client, as well as offering intuitive messages as well. With so much going on, so much misinformation, and so many options and opportunities, it doesn't even need to be necessarily like on the negative side of things. Please, please, please use your intuition when making these decisions and these judgment calls. Like, those are ways that you don't necessarily regret. There's obviously a very big difference from acting out of fear and acting out of intuition. So, proper intuition building is going to help you become more confident overall. Wishing everybody the best of luck with what they are going through. I know that these are not easy times, but please, 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 again, subconscious alignment, making decisions out of intuition, and having people in your corner, whether they are practitioners or just any connections in general that have your best interest at heart and that you know you guys are on the same page. So important.